'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Towns every few years, mostly infecting young children. Everyone was expected to suffer through them at some point. Waco native Mary Sendón recalls her and her siblings' experience with the more serious of the two illnesses.
All of us, 4 of us, got measles at the same time. I was even in grammar school. I didn't get it till I was in grammar school. And I remember that my grandfather and my dad, the men really worried about the kids a lot. You'd be surprised how much attention they gave to them. But I know my grandfather got worried because my fever was way up high. And, it was so high that my nails peeled off. And he got up and went to the drugstore and tried to get something from this old Kassell's drugstore down on 8th Street. And he got the druggist to give him something to get the fever down. And they were little powders. You had to mix them in a teaspoon of water and then drink a glass of water. Fever powders, that's what they were called. And he went down and got that, and I'll tell you, we were sick for about a week, and we had to stay in a dark room, because to protect the eyes. And my grandmother was there, and my great aunt, and my father and mother, and everybody was taking care of all the sick kids. But it did affect my brother's eyes. That's why when he went into the service, they wouldn't take him because of his eyes. And of course, the draft took him and put him in the Air Corps.
Dr. Howard Williams of Orange tells how rubella, commonly known as the German measles, possibly saved his life during World War II.
I went up to Camp Atterbury in Indiana and finished my basic training there as a rifleman. And then we were all packed to go. We were in the 106th Division, and we were packed, ready to go that very week. And I got up with splotches all over me. I had measles. Germany put me in the hospital, and then there at Camp Atterbury, and 106 left. And then after 10 days, they said the division's gone. They reassigned me. They sent me to a artillery observation battalion, and that was down at Camp Gordon, Georgia. Well, the 106 that I would have been with was one that was totally destroyed in the bulls. They were all pre-college type, and the Germans burst across the line there, and gosh, the division is like 15,000 people, and of 15,000, I think like 6 or 7,000 were killed, and another 5 or 6,000 were captured. So, had I not had German measles, I don't know what would have happened to me.
A lot of people you trained?
That's the only people I trained with and all, and it just disappeared.
Vaccines for measles and rubella were licensed in the U.S. in the 1960s. Since then, the number of cases has dropped by 99%, ending the role of these illnesses.
Subscribe, rate, and review our show on iTunes so we can reach more listeners. You can find show notes and info on every episode at wacohistorypodcast.com and more info on Waco's past at wacohistory.org. Our theme music, used with permission, is Cross the Brazos at Waco, performed by the late Billy Walker. For more info on Billy's music, go to billywalker.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Frozen, frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen, frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen, frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen, frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't right, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.